God.
Hello, sir. How you
Can't
doing?
help anyone listening to this.
Yeah. Okay. Episode number 4, I believe. So, mate of mine, George. How you doing, George?
I'm very well, thank you, KOKO.
Yeah.
Honoured.
You are
Privileged to
a performing artist, illustrator. You do a bunch of shit, actually. Actually, one of the reasons I got you on the podcast is I don't really know much about you, but you give off an interesting energy.
Okay.
An interesting energy. And I sort of want to explore that, really.
Yeah, I'm an open book.
You seem like it. You very much
you
seem
lead
like
the way.
it. You know what? That gig I came to, where was it? Somewhere in Hackney, Bethnal Green.
What, the Oslo one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, where's that again? What area?
It's in Hackney.
It is in
It's
Hackney.
like tied to the station.
Yeah, man. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, absolutely
glad.
smashing the. Yeah, like, do you know what? On the stage, yeah. Because obviously I've worked with music artists a lot and stuff, yeah. But there's something special you do on stage, and I don't know what it is, but you give off this like how do I describe it? It's captivating, isn't it? Like when you're doing your thing, I was very much in your space. Well, obviously it's you, but it's the whole band together,
Yeah.
created like an atmosphere. It was mental, and obviously you guys were just on tour.
Yes.
How did that go?
Yeah, it was good. It's funny, they kind of don't really think about it. At the time, it's like, oh, got the next one to do.
Yeah.
Get back in the van. But, you know, once you're away from it for a couple of weeks, you kind of forget that it even happened.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the next one, because everything's kind of broken up, you know, months in between. And I've kind of forgotten what it's like. And then you play one more, you play one show in like 2 months, you're like, oh, I actually really enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
I've missed doing this for, however much time.
How long have you guys been together?
Oh,
Feet.
we've been, God, rubbish with dates as well. We started 2018. What's that? 5? No.
3. 4. 3.
Oh, so it's more. It's not. It's got to be 2017. Then I'm pretty 5 years.
5 years, about 5 years.
Like, good.
How did it sort of come about? Were you all mates before, or?
Well, it was. When we met at uni, it was like first year, end of first year. Actually started a music society, and from that I kind of found Harry. The first time I met Harry, he rolled up. He had this like really old banger. I think it wasn't like maybe it was a Rover or something, or whatever. It was this like real kind of shit car, but he was an awful driver as well. But I remember sitting in the back of his car, just like, who is this angry man from Birmingham? Why is he driving like a maniac? And I played my first gig. So it was me, him, and this guy called Joachim, who was our original guitarist, who's now a pilot, a man of the skies.
Is that who done your music video with?
Yes, yeah, the very first one.
Oh no! The the pilot, the one you went on the plane with.
Oh no, it was. We were trying to.
You were trying to.
That was the flight school that he trained at, so we got some money off.
Contacts.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Sorry, it's such a...
No, not at all. So it was me, him, and Harry. We played our first show together, and Ollie was in the crowd, and he saw the gig, and this is when I'd started the music society. So we kind of, Facebook groups and all that stuff. Slowly starts to.
Yeah.
Find a friend, all that kind of stuff. You get suggestions and things on your Facebook. The algorithms start to work.
In
the back room. And I met Ollie in a club, and it's just there's 2 clubs in Coventry, both terrible. I don't know if you've been.
Only to play
touring.
volleyball, but I haven't been out.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, I wouldn't recommend doing it. You didn't miss anything. But the one I did go to is this big club called Casbah, and there's no service, no connection in the club. So I had a photo of him. I was just kind of walking around because I knew he was going to be there, and so I'll buy a drink. So I was just walking around, found him on the dance floor, gave him a tap on the shoulder. He's like, fuck. What do you want? Oh, you all right? Bought him a drink. I think I turned around for like 1 second. I bought him a drink, turned around, and someone had just smacked him in the face. Someone just like swung for him.
What?
I think he fell over and like knocked into somebody, and they just immediately, went to red and just It's knocked him out. He was all right. He kind of jumped straight back up, and he was like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And eventually, we just went back to Ollie's and had a little drink. And
I
was
guess
like,
when there's not too much to do in Coventry, you have to like let some demons out somewhere.
I know, exactly. Casbar's full of demons, let me tell you. And from then it was like, oh yeah, let's join the band. And it was one of my other friends was living with this guy Joe, who was our ex-drummer. We've got a few exes in the band.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, from then on we just did some covers, playing in Harry's house, and I remember our first recording session. That was fun. All recording a song and all in Harry's house and trying stuff out. And no, it was good.
Yeah, man.
It was always fun, from the start to now.
Yeah, to now. Yeah. Does it ever get? Is it ever awkward when when you say like there's a lot of exes in the band and whatever? Is it hard to have the conversation? Have you ever had to have a conversation with someone where you're like, okay, like I don't think this is working, or is it quite? Sometimes is it a bit?
Don't.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to have that conversation.
Yeah.
I had that conversation twice.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's like it was good in the sense that both of them they left at like a time that was good for them. So it was kind of like a mutual thing.
Like it didn't drag out.
No, it wasn't like you're out.
Yeah.
We didn't pack the car for them and like we're gonna go, but you're gonna stay here.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just like a mature conversation.
Yeah, it was a hard one, but I think it was one of those. It kind of worked out. And in the case of Joachim, he left because he wanted to be a pilot, and he's doing that successfully now. So there's no hard feelings there because he's laughing his way.
Yeah.
in the skies. Yeah. So he's golden, and the same with Joe. With the drummer, he's absolutely fine. He's doing what he wants to do. So we're sweet.
Yeah, man. And obviously,
nothing but love.
Oh yeah, nothing but love. And yeah, I guess you guys have had quite like a steady progression over the last couple of years. Like you've reaching good numbers and whatever. How hard is it to sort of like, I don't know, enjoy the moment and not look too far into the future?
I was thinking about this earlier actually. One of my friends was saying, someone I saw earlier was like, his girlfriend was doing something where she like, it's almost like a manifestation thing. So you write down all your achievements, things you've done, and then you can see them. It's like a diary, and then you look back and then be like, oh, I actually did do that.
Yeah.
Wherever I am now, you have accomplished
Yeah.
those things in that kind of book. And I guess with the band, it's hard to, think of those steps because you see everything around you and someone coming up super quick.
Yeah.
We've got a big show booked next year, but there's some bands that have already sold that show out and have upgraded that show.
Right.
And we're still at the stage where it's like, still building towards that.
Yeah.
But it's easy to forget, that we've played some really big shows and we've done some really cool stuff. So in terms of feeling like the accomplishment, it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
When you're riding high, it's great, but there's always someone fresher, cooler coming through.
Yeah, it's hard, like in especially in this industry that, numbers matter so much.
Yeah,
it's
all
so
stats.
it's all stats, and especially for like labels. If that's more or less that's all that matters to them.
Yeah.
So yes, it must be really hard to just like not to compare yourself to other bands, and just not even bands, just like in general, just music artists.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to do it, but in terms of like getting label attention and getting, I guess, on like a more visible next step, so like signing with a big major label or doing something like that, you need to do it in their way, the way that they understand is successful. So TikTok followers, Instagram, Twitter, trending,
Content
creation. I hear that one more time, I'm going to scream. All this kind of stuff that's you're just trying to sell yourself all the time. And I don't know, so it works for some people when they know that like the identity of the music and everything they're doing is so crystal clear, or it's the information, you know, that someone receives when they listen to someone's music or sees their stuff, that I can see all the imagery, I can listen to them speak, and I'm like, I know exactly what I'm in for. Music, I love, you know, say you've got a fan of, I don't know, Taylor Swift, whoever, releases 10-minute song, all about Jake Gyllenhaal, you know, and she's, you know, she directed it herself. It's all very melancholic, you know, all the artworks, everything's faded, you know, it's all her like looking forlorn in like a wood.
Yeah, she loves the fall colours.
She loves the fall.
Yeah, she loves the fall.
She's an autumn gal.
Yeah.
But you know exactly what you're getting, and she's got like an army of people behind that. The aesthetic is so crystal clear, and you know she could do TikTok, I'm sure, but she'd do it in the Swift.
Yeah,
in the
Swift way.
So for us, not to compare myself to Taylor Swift, or for our band to do that, but we've got to find the feet way to do that. You know, the feet way to do Instagram.
Yeah, of course. But also, I mean, Taylor Swift obviously, you know, she's doing what she's doing, and she's crazy big. But but at the same time, it's like I don't know, from her point of view, because obviously you're looking at her from sort of like you know, she's got it kind of sorted out.
Yeah, untouchable.
Untouchable.
You know what I mean?
But then, from her point of view, I'm not sure if that's what she thinks. But if I was at that point, I don't know if I'd almost feel trapped and look back when I didn't have this whole team and this whole aesthetic. To then I am the full girl.
Yeah,
I am that girl, and I have
me.
to.
I like walking around woods looking sad.
Yeah.
That's me.
That is me. But I don't know if it'll get to a stage where it's like I don't want to be that person.
Yeah,
you know,
like a caricature.
Yeah, it's a caricature of and I don't know, that happens so much with artists and stuff. When I mean, for example, like Billie Eilish, you know, like, you know, she had green hair and then she went blonde, and everyone's like, oh my god, like,
Billie's gone blonde.
Yeah, like what? She's not.
That's
the
not
person
the Billie
that
we know.
Yeah. Like, she's come out of the box that I've put her in, and you know, like. But from your point of view, I guess you're on that side of things, you're sort of in a good position because you're still, that box is, there's no box.
Yeah.
You know, right? So it's like you still have the freedom of choice to explore.
Yeah, exactly. We could do something way left field.
Yeah.
And we'd still get the same 20 people to the other stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe we get 18 or 19 people come see that. But I see what you're saying. Because, like, to go back to the Taylor Swift, you know, again, it's like setting goals and achievements and things. Like, I feel like you're walking around your mansion, you see all your plaques on the walls, but you're like, Doja Cat, she's coming for me.
Doja Cat has got,
she's coming for me. You're just like, and then I'm sure there's pressure from the label on certain things like that when you've got to stay in your lane, so to speak. That, you know, maybe you want to do other stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe we're fortunate.
Yeah, in a sense, we're still young and free. You know, don't have too much responsibility. So.
Whatever we like.
Oh, yeah. What do you find most frustrating about labels and like the music scene in general?
With the music scene, I don't know. I think it could be a really exciting place. Like, it could just be really, really cool. You know, it could be super creative and super kind of like engrossed in youth culture, and loads of people can be involved from like grassroots and up. It could be like, what are you doing this weekend? I could do 20 different things and they're all going to be sick. But in my mind, it's like, what am I going to do this weekend? Or I'm going to go to the O2 Academy, or I'm going to go to the, I don't know, Super Dry sponsored 200 cap venue, and it's actually shit because the live sounds crap because they don't want to spend the money. And it's like there's less care I see in it. It seems more like synthetic, I think, the music industry.
Synthetic.
Yeah.
That makes sense actually, because I mean, nowadays it's like every event, you know, there's like a music artist and whatever, and from like whatever genre and stuff, and quite often, and like, I'm not sure if the artists take it for granted or the other way around, or the whoever's organizer takes it for granted. But quite often you go to an event and like the artist doesn't seem to care too much, and then the label doesn't seem, or not the label, the like organizers don't seem to care too much. As long as there's something there and it's happening. I'm not sure if that sort of takes away from the magic of music sometimes.
I know exactly what you mean. I see that when I go to like festivals and you see big acts, and you see there's like a certain like threshold of quality that you have to get up to if you're going to be a live performance. If you're playing like a big main stage, whether that means you've got to have a backing track, and you've got to have they've got in-ears playing to a click, and you know they've got confetti cannons going off on the last chorus, and there's like a lighting rig, but they'll do that. You see a show. It's like Ed Sheeran plays Wembley Arena or whatever. You see him 3 nights in a row. It'll be the exact same show. From, I mean, I know there's a lot more movers. There's a lot more things to organise, but like the magic of that, you're just seeing like a process happen.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't seem as kind of. I mean, it's different style of music. It's pop music. You know?
Yeah.
So whatever, it's its own beast. But in regards to like guitar music and stuff that I see, there's potential, and not just guitar music, obviously, but potential for kind of really cutting edge things to happen, rather than it just be like, God, it used to be so cool in the 60s and 70s. It's like, now it could be fucking really cool. It's just to try and let go of some of those constraints. You know, you don't need a backing track. You don't need it.
No.
You don't. And like the O2s, they scare the hell out of me. The O2 like empire.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's like a fleet moving in. You know, they're like aliens popping up here and there and everywhere. You know, there's a lack of culture. And this thing is, you go to like an O2 in Sheffield or O2 Academy in Sheffield, and you go to one in like Liverpool. It's the same thing. You know, where's like the small differences? Where's like the people that live in that city, where, you know, that go there all the time, who should congregate around there, and the music scene around there should congregate in that space. You know, where is that, rather than just, you know, sell it off to
whoever. Yeah. I mean, I was on tour as well recently with Sam. I'm not sure if I told you.
I saw some stuff.
Some stuff
on the web.
But yeah, it was interesting. I've never really been on tour like that. I've never done
How did you find it?
Yeah, it was very interesting, sort of from like a third person perspective, where I was sort of like an eye on the wall, fly on the wall. Eye on the wall. That works as well. Fly on the wall. But I mean, yeah, because we done a few O2 academies as well. Just around, I can't remember which ones, but they're quite dry. Like
They are.
But I mean, the thing is with Sam, he's got great followers in it. So his fans are like, they really turn up wherever we go. But there was like something like, for example, like, you know, like the show in London was like 1,000, I don't know, like 1,500 people or something.
Yeah.
It was electric in Brixton, and yeah, that was amazing. It was like a amazing show with lots of like, there was like a bit of an interlude and then like a costume change, and pyro and whatever.
It's not just bread and butter, you know.
Yeah, it was really fun, and obviously there was magic to that. But then we're in Glasgow and there was like 80 people. You know what I mean? And it was like, there was magic to that as well, because there's all these fans that it felt so intimate and so like so different. But that was just like some super random venue. You know what I mean? Some like weird corner in Glasgow. Yeah, I don't know. I've always found like music artists in general. There's a particular. I'm not sure if it's freedom or if it's like or pressure. I guess those are almost completely different things, freedom and pressure. But like from society, it's like you know, like music artists are in the past have been like the truth tellers almost. You know, like through times and whatever, you can sort of study history through music.
They're
if you
kind
want.
of the free agent.
Yeah,
They should have no controlling factors.
Yeah.
They're there for the people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like exactly for the people, from the people to the people. It's not like, and I know that seems like it's still there, like very much within the artist world, it's still there.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
like obviously, in terms of labels nowadays, people have to be so safe. You know what I mean? Like people have to be so safe. They have to pick the right artists that are not too controversial or whatever, because then I can ruin not only the artist but then the whole label's reputation.
Yeah. I see in like very similar to that is you get an artist, someone like Youngblood, for example. You know Youngblood.
I walked past him the other day actually in Shoreditch.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Wow. Yeah. There you go. Well, pass on my regards. Next time. But you take someone like that and their whole kind of aesthetic and everything about them, the reason why, the way they're kind of like channeled into things is that they are supposed to be the outrageous one. They play up to it. All the content, all the things that the label are pushing, they're like, oh, do this, go crazy.
Yeah.
Like MGK, exact same thing. Let's post a video of him jumping around on a table whilst he's showing his record label, his new album.
Yeah.
You know, he's a crazy one, he's a wild one. And they're selling you that, you know, rather than them trying to like, it's just another technique for them to sell records.
But also, I guess at the same time, it's I guess you do want to show that personality, but I don't know. It's with this whole like world of expected content. It's so hard to like, so hard to just like have a balance of like showing, you know, like the more extreme side of you, as in the artist, to the people, and then like show the side that like the more human side that everyone just has, you know, just like because obviously that's just not as it's not as clickable or whatever. You know?
No, it's not. It's that you need fiery stuff, you know, because the attention spans are so short. But I think that's what is kind of, again, one thing I would say that's really kind of confusing me a bit with the music industry and with all this like new content creation stuff is the mystique. You know, where's the mystique? If I think of like a band, I mean, I only reference bands that are either like all dead or, you know, they're really old, you know, 60s, 70s, different time, different culture, everything like that. But take a band like the Stooges, you know, the mystique of that, when I listen to those records, I'm like, who are these people? Why is he screaming? And then I tried, we did stuff in the studio, you know, it's just me and a mic sitting opposite the producer in like this really, not a clinical room, you know, it's a cool room, whatever, recording space. And that's what he would have, you know, that's what Iggy would have had or whatever. And they're still giving that performance. And you see it's like, it's a character-based thing. But that's, again, it's like mystique. And I feel like the detachment, it has to be detached. You can't see every single thing they do every waking moment. Otherwise, it'll ruin. I don't want to see like Iggy Pop in a clinical room doing vocal takes. I want to hear it and go, oh my God. He's in some like dungeon sex club, getting whipped, doing that. Like, how's he coming up with this? It's crazy. And you know, otherwise, you'd have a label going, oh yeah, hey, Iggy, do that again. We'll film you. We'll get that on TikTok. That would be great. And it's not the same thing, because people aren't going to the shows to maybe see the wildest night of their lives. They're like, oh, it looks pretty wild, I think, or oh, I can just see the best bits later. It's on a YouTube reel.
Yeah.
Where's the mystique?
Yeah. Oh, that from like an artist point of view, that must be so hard to like balance, because on one side, I must say it's like the mystique. The mystique sometimes it's I think it's a bit romanticized in terms of like I don't even know if it's like trying to portray yourself as like you're trying to portray yourself as you're not trying too hard, but then you also like want to portray that like, I don't know, like you really mean business.
Like an alter ego kind of thing.
Yeah, like an alter ego. So I definitely see what you mean about like the detachment. You have to. There needs to be some sort of detachment from. Well, I guess from your audience and from yourself, for you to be able to have that almost like egoless freedom to create music without too much influence.
But like some people, the people do it really well. Like someone like Dua Lipa. like, I don't think she looks that sick all the time. You know, maybe she does. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wearing Gucci and all those cool brands. I don't know that, but like how everything's presented on social media and everything is that's her lifestyle on and off. And that's and then the mystique is everything that they're showing you, because they show you so much. You know, all the photos and stuff, and you get into a pattern of doing it that you're just like living the superstar life.
Yeah.
That's what people see, and that's what you expect. And then, but that's, in my mind, that's cool, because that's like that's just pop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And then, but from my perspective, it's hard to take that and put that into like the same mold of like a alternative guitar rock band, because we're not like heavy rock and rollers.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
We're not that. And at the same time, it's not like just drinking tinnies in the park. And that's not what I want to sell. I want to sell, like, if I'm going to sell anything, it needs to be like some concept, some kind of something within the art of the band, or like the whole group aesthetic and everything like that. So it's like, at what point?
So not just like pure documentation.
Yeah.
Like some sort of angle on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I want people to have some kind of impression. You know, if you were to see anything or hear something, you're like, oh, that sounds like Feet. That looks like something Feet would do. That looks like a Feet show.
Yeah.
You know? Or like, even like the silhouettes of a band. I always think about that, like, I want to be able to see a silhouette of our band and go, oh, that's us.
Yeah.
You know? Or from far away, or it's on phone screens. I mean, I do all the artwork, so it's like a big thing that I have to think about, and I like thinking about it. It's like the whole image of the band has to fit on like a postcard stamp, stamp.
Yeah. I like that. It's almost like those things were like when it comes with like recognition and style. I used to struggle a lot with that as well, personally, in terms of like in my camera stuff, because I didn't used to think like I had a style or whatever. But then people will come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh, like I knew this was shot by you," type of thing. Yeah. But then I'm sure you sort of on your side of things, sure. People recognize the Feet brand and the Feet side of like I don't know, like the energy you guys give and you know, physically and spiritually, whatever, mentally. But it's so much harder for yourself to see it than other people to.
It's really hard to get out of your own, change your perspective on things. But it goes for everything, you know, like with all like the art stuff, and some things I'll like show like my girlfriend or something. She's like, "Oh, of course you like that. That's so you." I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Why, you know, what does that? But you know, objectively, if I were to kind of like put all those things in front of me and go, yeah, I like those things.
Yeah.
You know, and have other things, I would pick them out of a pile and go, no, that's my stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it does, but without everyone knowing, regardless of what they make and how they make it, it is there. It's got their fingerprints all over it. Grabby mitts, you know. And like with your camera work, it's one of those things you don't really know what it is that separates it.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah. I mean, you do get to learn it over time, though. Definitely, you definitely start to recognize it.
It becomes more of a craft.
Yeah. But in terms of your art, did you do that at uni, or how did that whole thing begin? Like,
well, I did it. Yeah, I did it at uni in Cov.
For illustration.
Yeah, it was illustration animation, but that's just because I really like Wallace and Gromit and all those kind of things.
Nice.
I wasn't like a massive cartoon kind of guy. I just really like Wallace and Gromit and the idea of like making moving things. And I was going to do engineering, but my maths is awful. I got an E at A level.
Okay,
I got an E at physics, an E at maths A level as well. So I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, engineer would have been.
Yeah, and I can't drive. I don't really like gear. So I was like, this is a terrible career path to try and get
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Not going to work out.
All the drawings and all the things I found interesting was like, you know, in the start sequences of Wallace and Gromit, where they have like one process where you put like, his alarm goes off and he falls and his like bed turns up. Have you seen Wallace and Gromit?
Do you know what? Part of it.
What do you mean part of it? There's multiple Wallace
I know there's multiple. I might have seen one of them. I know it's terrible.
No, absolutely not. I'm jealous that you get to discover it for the first time.
It's one of those films where I've been wanting to see for so long. I just haven't put the time. How many is there?
There are 4, 5.
Yeah, what a lot.
They've done a few. They were all like half an hour. 'cause it takes them so long to do it.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
But like that whole Aardman world, like Chicken Run was my first film I ever saw,
Yeah.
and that just kind of
The first film you saw.
first film I ever saw in the cinema was Chicken Run.
Right.
And I was like hooked.
Okay,
you know?
yeah.
It's like, what? How do they do
What's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you get like a morph. I got a morph kit for Christmas as part of the Aardman characters. They've got this. One of the first thing they did, they showed it on like Blue Peter or something, or like children's programs. But it's like this little morph Play-Doh character.
Oh, it's like merchandise type of thing that you can buy.
Well, it was his own program. They did like shorts of this morph character, and then
Okay.
you could buy the morph character
Okay.
ready made.
Oh,
And you can make your own films.
Oh,
with it.
sick. Yeah.
So
Oh,
I tried doing all that stuff, and it's really hard. To
Yeah,
do. You know,
yeah.
it's
To get it
such
to the
a
level.
craft
Yeah,
to
it's
do that stuff.
crazy.
But that kind of got me into all the art stuff, and then with the music, like we're just like looking at album covers and things, and getting more into like looking at like the Ramones and all those kind of bands. It's just classic iconography. It's everywhere. Like people in, girls walking up the street. Well, back in the day, in the 2000s, wearing like Ramones t-shirts. Like, what? I didn't even know they were a proper band until I was like 18 or something like that. I was like, oh, that's actually a band. I just thought it was a cool t-shirt.
Yeah, like cool yeah. How do you? I mean, first of all, actually, do you like study music and music artists? Do you ever look at certain musicians and you're like, well, I not necessarily want to be like you, but I want to take some parts of what you've got and embed it into the thing or what you're doing?
Yeah, I've got a playlist on Spotify called Stuff I'd Like to Nick.
Nice, I love that.
I've got loads of things on there. If it's like a drum sound or it's like a cool vocal part, or it's basically just stuff I just like, and I just put it in there. It's got to the point where that's just now the playlist that I
You
listen
like
to.
to listen to, yeah.
But there's some really cool finds in there, and they'll go back and listen to it. I'm like, wow, how are they doing that? Like, that's really, I would not think to go that way. And I'm by no means do I know how to play music. I just watched the Beatles thing,
Oh yeah.
and watching that with Harry and Callum, like they're infinitely better guitarists than me. And like I said to Harry, you teach me one of the Beatles songs, and he's playing all this stuff. I'm like, whoa, slow down. How the hell? And it's not, I could play, I learned guitar. I had a guitar teacher and stuff when I was a wee boy, I know my chords and things and my bar chords and stuff like that. But I was like, what is that? What are they playing? And it's so quick, but everything is, all the tones, all the kind of like voicings of everything. It's crazy. So, and I discovered that like last week. So I've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
To get anywhere, near in that ballpark, and just work out what they're doing, because there's such a range to it. And it's the same with like all the art stuff as well. I feel like I'm a better like physical artist. I could make something physically better with my hands than I could recreate something in music. But
So you feel more
different
adequate
things.
in your illustration or in your music?
I would say so. In
Really?
illustration stuff. But that's not to say that I've done anything in my mind noticeable in the illustration stuff. I've got ideas that I want to pursue, but it's just trying to work out like the right medium and just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Do you like the guy David Cho? You heard of David Cho?
The comedian? Oh, no.
No, he's an artist, and he does loads of stuff. He's in like a band or whatever, but he's mainly like an artist, graffiti artist.
Okay, I don't
And
think so.
he's got like a whole show that he does now. Well, he did like a couple of episodes. He's like this massive guy, but very spiritual. He talks about everything. He's like just making work every day. Really super interesting. He's a professional gambler as well. There's like,
Spiritual professional gambler.
yeah,
I love that.
But his art's like really good, and he'll do like a painting, and then he'll just like paint all over it, and then just do it again, or do this like lovely portrait, just throw paint at it, like a really good portrait, and throw paint at it, and then like mess it up and like warp it around, and then just like spray paint over that and go and do that. It's like it's not that he doesn't care. It's just like the pursuit of it looks so enjoyable, engrossing, because it is. So once you sit down and actually do something, you get so rewarding. It's like writing or anything.
Yeah. I mean, only recently have I it's not even recently, but the process is part of the art type of thing. And I've always heard that saying, but I never really connected to it too much.
Yeah.
It was only really recently that I've like started to think about it properly, and it's like it's just true, isn't it? Like it's making art is sometimes the art itself. You know what I mean? Just the
just got to start, man. Just got to do it.
yeah, just got to do it. But like, well, I don't even know if it was like some exhibition or something. Oh yeah, my mate. Oh, actually, funny. He's actually coming on after you today.
Oh, sick.
But he has a collective and whatever. And over lockdown, they sent off like they sort of sent off these like what are they called? Like light reactive paper, which is basically kind of like you can make photos, but without a camera. It's just the image. You can you can put like leaves on top of it, and if you put it in the sunlight for long enough, there'll be like a silhouette of the leaves embedded into this like weird paper.
Yeah.
And the idea of it was just like the project was just to give these like students and random people just this medium, I guess, send them out. And it was never really about the final product. The whole exhibition was sort of that idea that like the process is sometimes just the art itself.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the final thing. It can be just the art of doing something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. It's funny you say that. Like every time we go to like an art exhibition or like a modern art thing, and you see something on the wall, you're like, that is crap.
Yeah, just
That
like 7
is
strokes.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's like that is so easy. But for the person who's making that, I completely understand why they do it because it's so engrossing. Like at a certain point, they went, "Yeah, that's done. I've done that. I've made that. That wasn't didn't exist before I did it." And it's not. It's fully all about the process. And the same about like whenever I see like another band or anything like that. When I'm watching someone I really like, I'm like, I barely even enjoy music anymore because I'm just like, I like that. I'm watching something, but I like that just makes me want to just do music myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
objectively, I'm enjoying the show.
Yeah.
But right now, all I want to do is just go home and just play music. It doesn't even have to be good music.
Yeah,
But I'm like, that looks really fun, and I want to do that. And I'm sure for like other artists and other creatives as well, you'll see someone who does something really sick. You're like, I can do that.
I can do that.
I can do that. I'm going to go do that right now. You know, and I like that stuff. Community of people just making stuff.
There's a lot of magic in like subconscious spread of ideas. You know what I mean? Because like for example, like you take inspiration from someone. Like that was never intent. That was never the intent of that.
No.
You know what I mean? He didn't like whoever that was. He didn't make that music and to inspire other. And some people do, of course. But like most art isn't made to like inspire others to make art. It's just art, the art itself. But there's a saying I heard some time ago. I think on other podcasts. But it's like us humans, like our only purpose. Obviously, this is very like metaphorical.
Someone has this tattooed on there. Like.
Yeah. No. So like our as humans, like our only purposes is, like the real living things are ideas, and we're just the carriers of those ideas, and then we sort of like, the ideas sort of pick and choose us, and they go from human to human, and some ideas flourish and some die.
Just a vessel.
We're just exactly, that's the word I was looking. We're the vessel for the ideas that then happen.
Yeah. Truth.
Yeah. I mean, sort of is.
Truth. No, absolutely. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that's spot on.
But see, I didn't know that you were more encompassed. I don't know if you're more encompassed in your illustration work or than the music. But I didn't know. I personally thought your music was like your thing, and your illustration was like your number 2. Or do you see it on the like you said?
I just think I guess because it's mine as well. I just feel like I'm in more control.
I
Of all
see.
of the illustration
I
stuff.
see. I see.
You know, no one's gonna do it. And
No one's
I've
gonna
got
do-
4 other
Yeah.
people with the band,
Yeah.
and there's like, because there's like an audience for it now, and there's, you know, we've got people behind it, and there's like a manager, and
Yeah.
we've got other people working like with us and helping us grow to do bigger stuff. It's like it's its own thing, and it feels great that way because it's like its own beast. It's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
turning along, and I'm just kind of like feeding it
Yeah.
along with the rest
Yeah, of
of
course.
the other guys in the band. Whereas the illustration stuff is like it could never ever happen, and it doesn't affect anyone except me.
Except you.
You know.
Yeah,
And
man.
And it's just like ideas, you know. And it's the great thing about just like Instagram, all those kind of things is I'm just put the idea down. It doesn't, you don't have to make money. But I'm intrigued by that world because I have no idea what it's like the art world, like an exhibition space. How, like you're saying about a gig and doing the stuff on stage and like putting across, creating a certain atmosphere for like the music to kind of be in for half an hour, you know, with an audience and like all the lighting and the staging stuff. I love all that shit, you know. I really enjoy like curating an evening. You know, I'm a real host.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would be really interested to do that for the art.
Yeah, man.
And where it's like,
Have you ever
go
down the rabbit hole to try and explore, see what you can do, or you haven't had the contacts of it?
in what way? For what? Sorry.
Exhibitions for art.
I've only recently started talking to a few people, but I've not really. I did like stuff at school, but again, that was very habdash.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at a far better place.
Yeah,
And
of course, yeah.
I'd be really interested to do
Yeah.
it. You know, it's funny. I
Yeah.
think it is accessible. I mean, obviously, art is not as accessible as people think it is.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. It's
and I
quite
completely
the
understand. For a lot of people, it's not. Yeah, it is like a cult, and there are a lot of barriers for a lot of people. But I would be very intrigued to just try it. You know.
Yeah, man. A couple of my mates have done exhibitions and stuff. So yeah, I'll put you in touch.
Oh.
Yeah. If something comes up from it, then it does.
I would
If not-
I would love that.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. Whatever. Just keep it moving, innit? I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Keep,
Also,
keep that vessel.
yeah, and
That idea goal.
yeah, the idea we left. That idea's gone now. With the it's gone. Don't exist no more. Yeah, that was it. It's came back. Have you gone down the sort of the NFT route of art and stuff?
The non-fungible tokens. Is
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's interesting. I think it's interesting. But again, I guess a lot of the art stuff, because it is all for me. Like, I enjoy doing it. I just put it out because I'm like, oh, I like that. I'm going to put that out because then I don't have to, you know, now I can move on to the next thing. Whereas an NFT, I feel like I'd try really hard to just try and like start making money out of something.
Something that's sellable.
Make it sellable and things. And my technical skills are pretty base. So I don't know how I'd even go about that.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. It's one of those things. It holds its value if you're like looking at it on like a phone or something. I guess I don't know. Like, how do you enjoy it? An NFT.
How do you enjoy an NFT?
What's the
Well,
most
you can get
enjoyable
physical ones as well. So
I've seen them. They're quite ugly looking things, though, right? They're like it's just like a hard drive with a screen on it.
sort of, yeah. I mean, you can sort of, I guess, make your own. But I don't really know what the prices and stuff of that is to make something that's like, because a lot of technology goes into. I mean, there's been some crazy ones. There's been like some, like life-size human ones where it's like a 3D human walking around. You can go from each side. It's all types
Really?
of yeah, you know Beeple? Have you heard of
people crap.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, in NFT world, he's the absolute god.
Yeah.
Like, he's made hundreds of millions from it. It's crazy. But he released this thing recently where it's like a life-size human. It's like a box, and from each side you can sort of like see different angles of it.
Really?
But he is in control of the thing. So even after he saw that, he can change it.
That's
That was pretty cool, isn't it?
Well, okay. Something like that. I quite like that idea now.
Yeah.
Think of that. If you're buying you're effectively buying like a canvas.
Yeah.
That can change
Exactly. Yeah, you're
at
buying a
any
canvas. Yeah.
I quite like. Okay, I'm buying in now.
You're buying in.
Yeah.
You're buying. I'm also super new to it. My mate Alex is a lot more into it. He's on a couple like markets. He bought a couple of pieces. But yeah, it's just. I mean, it's a bit of a gold rush at the moment. Of course. I mean, like things are going for like insane money.
It feels like an aftermath of like the whole Bitcoin thing, which again I have no idea.
You have no idea. That's fine. We won't get into it unless you want to. But
well, are you knowledgeable?
Base, like I know like how it works on the base level and stuff. It's become more and more complicated over the years because it was back in the day it was just Bitcoin and like Ethereum, Litecoin, like a few other coins and stuff, and they were just sort of meant to be as well. Bitcoin's just it's just currency for just something to hold value, no other purpose. Ethereum has different options, and you can like it's a lot more about coders, and they can do a bunch of shit with it. And I don't really know. Ethereum's a lot more complicated. But now there's like a billion things. There's something called DeFi, which is like the new the new crypto banking system, which is fuck knows. But anyway, I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to talk about it properly because it's a space that's so interesting, and I've been in it for a long time, and I've made some money, lost some money. But you know what? Actually, I lost so much money on it. What are we? 2021.
The coin.
On Ethereum in January. January or February. Anyway, so I've got a picture here. My computer was here, and I had these two screens. Like this guy was vertical, and I had like all the graphs, and I was day trading. I was like in the matrix, like 14 hours a day, just like buying, selling, like.
What are you just looking for trends?
Yeah, so like when something dips, like you buy it, and then so it's, you know what leverage is?
I've seen the movie Big Short. So
Okay, yeah. So that's a good start. So basically, you're playing with more money than what you have. It's very dangerous because you can win more quicker, but then the opposite way as well. So you can lose quick. So,
but then how do you play with something that you don't have?
Well,
how do you I guess the prompt like in order to purchase those things that you don't necessarily have the capital to back up. The promise that they're letting you do that is that if it all goes to shit, then they're just going to come after you, right? You've got
a sort of. So basically, what it is, say you have $100, yeah, and you put a 10x leverage. So actually, instead of 100, you're betting with $1,000. Okay. So, and if a coin's worth $100, yeah, you buy it. You buy $100. If that goes up to 200, instead of making $100 in it, you make 10 times of that because it's gone up. Because you're actually playing with 1,000 rather than 100. But if it goes down $10, you've lost all your money because you only have $100 to back it up.
Oh, but you're only trading with the Bitcoin that you own. So then that what?
Right. So I didn't explain this great actually. So with these $100, you leverage it up, but it also goes down. So whatever happens in each direction, if you're on 10x leverage, because you can be on whatever, it times it by 10. So because you only actually have $100, if the coin goes down by 10, if you times that by 10, it's $100. So if it goes down to 90, you lose everything. So you basically bottom out, and the market automatically sells all your whole coin, and you're just left with nothing.
I can see why that could be appealing. It's like a game, right? You just put
Which is gambling.
It's like you're putting tokens into a system and then seeing how long you can ping around, you know.
Yeah, and then whatever. I was trading loads, and I was like, "Fucking, I got this!" Wow, I was making like 300-400 pound a day, and I was like, "Fucking hell, man, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this." You know?
And now day trader, yes.
Yes.
Getting a suit.
And then one day, I got so cocky with it, and like, I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna go up. It's gonna go up." Blah blah blah. And I was, I had a position. I was leverage whatever Ethereum, and then it started going down. And my thing was about to sell out, so I put more money in so it doesn't sell out. But the thing kept going down and down and down and down. I lost like, I think it was like nearly $6,000 in like one night.
What?
It was devastating
my.
because I just made it as well. Like I had, it was a combination of like some money I'd made from crypto and some like a bunch of work I'd done in Christmas. The first time in my life, I was like, I've got a bit of money, so I lost like 70% of like my net worth in like one night. And I was sitting here and I was like, what?
I need to get out the
I literally, like, did I even go to? I think I went to sleep for like a couple hours, and then I went and I just ran for like 20k, and I was like listening to classical music. I was like, I need to get this out of my system.
To get the value thing, you go to shop, you get like a Twix, and you're like, all right, I can. This is a physical thing I own because I can afford this.
I can afford this. It was. Do you know what? It was a great lesson though.
Yeah.
I bet. I took a lot from it, and I didn't take it too hard actually. I thought I was devastated for like a day.
Yeah.
But then there was it was almost like a certain type of like euphoria that came from it. I was like, you know what? Like, it's money I work hard for, but it don't fucking matter. Like, I'll be all right. It was a good lesson.
Yeah, it's like an energy drink. The high is better than the fall.
Oh yeah.
Sugar come down. Oof.
Oh, it's not great.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Energy drinks shouldn't exist.
You don't believe in energy drinks?
I don't believe in them. No. I mean, I drink loads and loads of tea, which is in effect an energy drink. So I can take that back.
You can, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's the same. They got so much sugar in them, but you don't have sugar in your tea, so you're a good man.
No. I used to. We kind of weaned off. I would say we a lot because of the band. We all lived together.
Are you like one consciousness almost?
There was a joke where we called ourselves like the hive mind.
The hive mind. Yeah.
That was a lockdown thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all decided that we would stop having sugar in our tea.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm glad. For my hungover, I have like a bit of sugar in my tea.
Just for a bit of fun.
But yeah, it's crazy. Taking something like that away, you're like, whoa, what's this? What's this?
Good life.
Now I can like taste the thing I'm having.
It's it's not just sweet.
Yeah,
That's the only taste.
Warm, sweet milk.
Yeah, warm sweet milk. Yeah, 100%. Have you been running actually recently, or have you?
I know. I promised you.
I mean, man, it's I done as well. We just haven't.
We need to arrange a date for God's sake.
Yeah.
I did. I went on one. It's like a check-in run. If I haven't gone for a while, I'm like smoking a lot, drinking. How's the rig doing?
Yeah. How's the vessel?
Yeah. And I did all right. I've got one route. It's weird. Like my sister does loads of running. Twin sister. You
got a twin sister?
Yeah.
No way.
Sister. But she's training for like a half marathon, 13k. She loves it. She absolutely loves it. She went home early from staying, like when we were back home, whatever. She's like, no, I'm going to do a 13k tomorrow. It's like, well, mate, no, it's not 13k. I think it's like
30 miles.
Yeah, I think it's 30 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like hardcore. She loves that. But she changes all of her routes up and everything. Like really gets into it, listens to things. But I only do the same run, over and over again because it's like my. It's rather than going to the doctor, I just go on that run and I'm like, all right, where am I at?
Yeah.
Okay, because I run up that hill, up to Muswell Hill.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Do you run up that one?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that hill.
That's hard.
That is hard.
My dad came down to Muswell Hill to like check in, say hello. We went for dinner up there and I took him up there. We walked. He was like, "We're getting a bus because I think I'm gonna throw up."
That hill, I tried to run it at the end of a run, and I got halfway and I was like,
No.
That is just, it's so long.
Yeah. It's funny. But it's one of those things. I leave the house. I'm like, here we go. I'm I'm not even halfway up. Like, that's the thing about that hill. It never stops. And I just find it interesting how your body at certain points, because I always have this thing in the back of my head. Whenever I'm like tired and running or I'm like getting a stitch, I always hear that thing about that like guy that was in the army who ran in the desert and he like sprained his ankle and he still ran like another marathon. He's like, it's that hard. It's a mental game. It's mental. And I'm like halfway up Muswell Hill, like, is this like, how bad can I feel and still be able to do this? Because recently I've been feeling pretty bad running up that hill.
Yeah.
But it's mad. It's funny how the running, you can get way out of breath, or just changing your pace. It takes your body like 5 minutes to react to you to slowing down. And if you stop dead, it's like the worst thing. So everything like seizes up, and although your breath comes back, you try running again. It's just in pain. But yeah, I do love that run. It's a good run, and there's another hill. You think that one's steep? There's another one. It's like, it's not as long, but it's if you go up do you know where the Highgate pub is? So you run up Muswell Hill, you go left.
Yeah, through that little like. Do you go through? You know, there's that little tunnel, and then there's that nice view. Do you run up there?
I don't run. I don't go along there because it's normally dark when I run. Because I always run like just before dinner. Okay. I can't run in the mornings. I don't know how people do it. I don't have the energy. Like every time I feel sick. Physically sick. So I don't have enough energy to do it. So I go up to top of the hill, go along the road, go like past the Highgate Wood, and run down that hill. And then there's like another one. There's like in like a suburb or whatever, and you go up and you run over Suicide Bridge, and all the way down into Crouch End and then along. It's good. I loved it. I used to do it with Ben. Used to do it with Rains. That lasted for like, Rains. I think we did 2 runs with him. And he hasn't done it since.
Rains, what colour?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Why did you call him Rains?
His middle name.
Is Rains?
Yeah. yeah. His granddad was called Rains Parker.
That's a good name.
It's great.
Rains, yeah. Because I hear you guys say Rains sometimes. It takes me like a second to like catch in. Like, who's Rains?
Yeah.
What's a Rains? But what else do you do? Have you always been a sort of like in shape in trying to?
I really loved doing sports and stuff when I was a kid. I was the fastest kid in my primary school.
Oh yeah.
Done. I was quick. I was a quick kid. Like hurdles. I was good at hurdles. Good at long jump. Did county hurdles. Got to county secondary school. That's my highlight. Came last. No, second last. But everyone was wearing spikes. I walked up wearing my like little trainers, and they were wearing spikes and stuff. And there was a gun, like an actual gun.
An actual gun.
Fire off. I was like, what the? He's got a gun. And I was
spikes help so much.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing. Have you run in spikes?
No, never.
Oh mate, you feel like you're elevated,
just flying.
Yeah. Because I did a long jump for a little bit, and I got some spikes for that. And it's like you put them on, you're like, oh my gosh. Whoa. You're just the power you put on the floor.
Oh, I bet. Damn, get me some spikes. Man. Next time we're going up Muswell Hill.
Yeah, that would not be nice.
No. No, I've done loads of sports. I always loved playing rugby. I was a rugby player. Football. I was alright. Played for Cambridge. Academy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I went to Germany, I think.
Yeah. Play a bit. Yeah. Is that where you grew up, Cambridge?
Yeah, well, it's like a little village. I say Cambridge because it sounds fancy, but it's like Peterborough's closer.
Yeah, Peterborough's closer.
So it's like Cambridgeshire, but also Peterboroughshire, if that's the thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been kind of sporty. Me and my brother, very sporty.
What do you think is like? What have you taken out from it? In your adult life,
I guess I'm not. I'd say I'm competitive, but I'm not mega competitive. Like I don't really care that too much. Like if I lose like a Monopoly or something, as long as it doesn't get like rubbed in my face, then I'm fine. I won't be like God. I know people that are really competitive, and I know that I'm not that. So that's how engaging how competitive I am. But I think like with the rugby stuff, I always loved like just I didn't really care about winning. First of all, I didn't really care about scoring a try. I just really liked hitting the biggest arsehole on the pitch. That was my favourite thing because I was fullback, so I was the last line of defence.
Oh yeah.
It's always like the cocky winger or like the centre, or sometimes you get like forward or whatever, and they cut through, and it's just me and them, and I'm like, if I fuck this up, then you scored, and I always loved that kind of like, all right, this is all you've got to do is just fucking take someone out, and that's it. And likewise, the ball gets kicked over to me, it's just me by myself. But I always quite like that confrontation. I don't really like confrontation generally. I'm pretty terrible with it. Not a very violent person. Not a fighter. Never really done it. I don't think I've ever been a fight actually.
Yeah.
But the confrontation, I think of that in like that environment. I was like,
I don't know if
I did enjoy it.
very rarely people say they enjoy confrontation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think from what I hear so far, it sounds like you're good at it. You're good at having hard conversations whenever they need to be had.
Well, I guess. I mean, in the case of that, it fell down to me to do it. So
Right.
I think I can, create that, start that, that conversation or that confrontation if it needs to be done. Then you've got to do it. But it's I think maybe that's what I've got from sport and stuff is the confrontation.
It's quite because also like in sport, it's almost like confrontation is like inevitable.
Yeah,
right? It's literally inevitable. You're gonna have to have a confrontation with someone, like your teammate, the other teammate, the referee, whatever.
Yeah,
your coach. But it's such an amazing like social skill to have, to just be able to have like a conversation where you can control yourself.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's all control, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And I guess the when you're playing a game, something like rugby, like seems quite violent, right? You're just throwing yourself at other people.
Yeah.
They're doing the same to you. Seems like quite a kind of like uncomfortable thing to do, but because there's so many rules, there's so many things around it, and there's so many like ways to do it in the right way, and there's like a certain level where there's just like an objective out of it, as much as any confrontation. That I don't know. I feel like the more you do it, the better you become at it. It's like any kind of thing, and like
it's like a muscle.
yeah, absolutely. And like the confrontation when I had to like break take some of the guys out of the band. The second time it was a lot easier than the first.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like anything,
Because you always think of the worst that could happen, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you
yeah, he's just gonna swing at me.
yeah, or you're just scared of like hurting people's feelings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just really, really sad.
Yeah, and you don't want that.
No.
But there's ways you can approach that which are way better than others, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not very like emotional man. I wouldn't say I'm very like just. I'm trying to think of the word. Empathetic is not the right word. I'm not like a psychopath, but if I'm watching like a sad film, to be fair, only like fairly recently I've like welled up. I watched what's the thing about chess on Netflix. The Queen's Gambit.
Oh, the Queen's Gambit. Yeah, I've
Those
seen that.
last two episodes, I was like,
They get you.
I think I might cry. I haven't cried since I was like 13.
You haven't cried?
14. No.
Really?
They've never come.
I've never come.
And it's like its own thing now. It's like a joke. I don't understand it. It's like, I see people crying like, how are you doing that?
How are you crying? Man, us men, we are a creature of... We hide our emotion as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel... Have you had moments where you've held tears back?
I guess so. But again, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like like some people don't like being sick. To use that as an example.
Okay, yeah.
And they can feel it and it's ready. It's like it's coming. But like,
I don't want to be sick.
Don't want to be sick. I guess it's a bit like that. It kind of seize up a little bit, but I get a lump in the back of my throat. And I was just me by myself watching the Queen's Gambit. Last episode, I was like, I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna cry. No one cares. It's fine. I'm upset. I can cry. I can do what I like. And they just didn't come. There wasn't like a. It didn't feel like a rush. It wasn't like I was holding in a wee.
Yeah.
Like splurty out.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It didn't feel like that. So when it came to that, I was like, all right, well, maybe I just can't. I don't know.
What was the if it's not too much of a personal story, why was the reason you cried when you were like 13?
Oh, man, I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't have many like traumas.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate,
Yeah.
There's nothing too like majorly dark, Had a few bereavements and things, life goes,
Adversities and that.
Things happen, But it's just one of those things ever since then.
That's fascinating,
It's strange.
because I thought I didn't cry much, and like, but I can remember pretty much. I cried like 7 or 8 times since the age I was like 16 or something. And I remember them.
Yeah, it's like a real moment.
Yes, it's a moment. And I don't. I went to a play the other day and I cried. Yeah, that was.
That's great. I want to do that stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't hold it in. I actually couldn't.
Was it like a sob?
It got to a point where I needed a moment. I couldn't breathe. I was with my girlfriend, and I was like, okay, like, she was like,
oh man.
Yeah, it's.
Wow,
It was a lot. It was. Do you know what? Because it hit. It hit.
Hit home.
It hit home. Yeah, it really hit home. It was like a story about. Like Serbia war back in the day, and it sort of hit home with my parents, and then how they basically had to leave everything behind for their kids, basically. Yeah. So, and that's basically what my parents had to do. No, nothing to do with war, but just like they had to leave a lot behind.
Yeah, it clearly resonated with you.
Yeah, it did a lot. But yeah, I've had a couple of moments where, yeah,
it's powerful, man. That's what I really want to get to that. I feel like I'm getting to the point of like at the end of like a waterfall, like the precipice. It's coming. I can see it. It's like a horizon.
Yeah.
Or like is it in Pirates of the Caribbean where they get to the end of the world and they fall off?
Yeah.
Like, I just think I'm there, man. I'm ready. I just need something.
About like 3 years ago, I hadn't cried in a long time, and I'd done some project that was like it took a lot out of me, like like a month and a half of just like constant fucking going. And we sort of finished it, and I was just chilling in my room for the first time in like ages. Ella she was like, oh, do you want to come and have a look at some of the footage?
Yeah.
And he showed me some of the footage. And do you know what? I didn't even see the footage. I just walked in the room and I started crying, and I couldn't stop crying for like 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, but like.
Oh man, what, exhausted crying?
I don't even know what it was. It just came out, and it kept coming. It was an amazing moment of like vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because once you like. I didn't particularly feel like I was in control of it at all. It sort of just happened, where like it kept coming out, and like quite often like it's hard to show love sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like as much as I'd like to show love to people and whatever, it is hard to. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the whole thing is about. Like I'm sure there's a lot of psychology behind it and whatever, but once I sort of entered that state of like hyper vulnerability where I was just crying in front of my mate, and like we went and we just walked around this like estate that we used to live in. I don't fucking know how long we walked for, like an hour and a half, just in circles. And I was just like, I was telling her like how much I appreciated her, and then like I started getting into like, I don't know, just other stuff, and like I finished crying, and I felt lighter. You know when people say like, oh, it's like a weight off your shoulders?
Yeah.
It genuinely felt.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, whoa, like I feel lighter. And like...
Well, must have lost a bit of weight.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of fucking tears coming out. 2 hours is a long time. And it was crazy because for the first 20 minutes, I couldn't speak.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like, it was just like
a sob.
Like a sob, like
Damn.
barely breathing.
Yeah.
And like my mate was so worried. She was like, she thought something bad had happened.
Yeah, like a panic attack.
Or like someone had died or something. You know what I mean? It was mental, man. It was fucking hilarious afterwards, though. It felt great.
That's those things, isn't it? You get it's one of those like the aftermath or something like that. You just like it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is. Because you've sort of like you've shown a side to yourself you don't show.
Yeah.
And you sort of you don't even know it's there sometimes.
Yeah. I'm amazed. Honestly, the human brain does kind of crazy things. It's like when you go certain things, certain like experiences come by, or certain like you have a certain like trauma or like something comes along, and you just react to it subconsciously, and you don't like, why the fuck did I respond? Why did I respond like that? Like your like subconscious mind just kind of responded in a very certain way, where you get like adrenaline, just like
Yeah.
and it could be something like, you know, just stepping off a pavement and you weren't expecting it, and you're like,
Oh, you jolt.
and your whole body's like, whoop. Or you get kind of crazy paranoid for no reason, and you go into like survival mode.
Yeah.
I was at school. Remember that I was at secondary school. It was in DT.
Oh yeah.
So it's like design technology.
Yeah.
And there was this one kid. It's like he wasn't like crazy. He was just a bit of like a wild kid.
Wildcat, yeah.
And he walked in, and I was sitting. It's like on a workbench, and I was sitting next to this one of the kids or whatever in the class. And this guy walked into the class, and he picked up this like penknife thing, you know, like hardcore like DIY knife.
Oh, yeah,
thing,
yeah.
And kind of like walked around. I saw him do it. I was kind of walked around behind my mate. He was sitting on my table. This guy called Danny, and he grabbed it. And the whole time I was watching it, I was like, he's gonna stab him with that. He's gonna stab him with that knife. And I was like, oh my god! And everything was like slowing down. It's insane. I was like, this is fucking mental. And I was watching him do this thing, and then he just like was like, "Ugh." He's joking because he knew him, and I didn't know that he knew him. So I was like, oh my god, he's gonna get. And I was like, I was just ready. I was waiting for him to do anything, and then Danny was like, oh, you're right, Kieran, or whatever the guy's name. I was like,
And your heart's fucking.
I was rocking in my chair. I was like, my brain. Why did I think of what? First of all, why did I think that was thing? And then the way that I just subconsciously reacted to that, I was like, that was a rush. That was crazy.
Man, stuff like that happens. Like I had like something like that happen to me on the tube like a few years ago, or when there was like all the bombings and stuff was happening. So I guess subconsciously it was happening.
Yeah.
But there was like these two dodgy guys walking on the tube, and they were proper sketchy. They were like proper like whispering to each other and like looked all like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like looking around, and I was thinking, oh my fucking day. And in my head, I went full survival mode. I was like, right, if a bomb goes off, I need to jump that way. I need to like do that. And then like you start like your mind starts going a million miles an hour, and everything slows down, and you're like,
I know, it's crazy. It's fucking.
and like, man, it was, fuck knows that is. But how much do you think like that's like ancestral like behavior that just like passed down onto hers? Like for example, that you don't cry, like your father or your granddad, have you ever like seen them like express emotion like that?
I don't think I've ever seen my dad cry.
Yeah,
I don't think I have. Maybe that's it. I mean, he's terrible at confrontation, so maybe that's why I get the need to want to be better at it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it is. It's a hereditary thing. I mean, it doesn't. It's not like it's like he's not like an old school trainer thought. You know.
Yeah.
Don't cry, kind of thing. Anything like that.
It's just, but it's the
it's
the
just
act of not
inherent.
doing it is.
You know, I've got two sisters. You know, she cries all the time.
It's not but that's
like
okay
I'm not
though,
around
because you know, like that's just socially acceptable and whatever, and that's not. You don't second guess it type of thing.
But then like my brother, younger brother, he cries.
Yeah.
You know, he's a crier.
Yeah.
I just maybe it's just one of those things. It's just like skipped.
You just skipped. You just skipped crying.
Yeah, it's just one day. I tell you, I know that's what I'm kind of. I don't know. I like dwell over it. I quite like the fact that I think one day I will cry, and I don't know where it's coming, but I will, and it's gonna be like,
Man,
What is it? I'm not washing my face for days.
you just want to feel
Yeah,
feel
I
all the
just wanna, like,
tears.
oh my,
the sticky-
make me cry again.
Yeah.
Because I think as soon as I cry once, I'll be like, oh, I just do this all the time now.
Yeah.
And like you said, weight off your shoulders, and stress and anxiety. Like there's so many things, so many factors.
So many factors.
So
Yeah,
many
they
things
just
that
build. They
people
do
go
build
through.
up in your body, and yeah, that release.
Yeah, it's such a physical thing. My one of my friends recently, he was saying that he's had to stop drinking because the nerve endings kind of damaged on his foot, right? And if he gets too pissed on night out, the next day his foot will be like limp, which is super scary. It's not many people have it kind of thing, but it's linked to stress and anxiety as well. So like your brain, you get so anxious, whatever, and things start to shut down.
Things just it don't work. But man,
It's such a physical thing. It can be such a physical thing.
yeah, stress and anxiety is a big factor in health. Like big factor. Like, I mean, if you don't look after yourself mentally, you don't look, in the right steps and stuff. You just see it in everyday life. When people are stressed and they age so much quicker and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, it's not a healthy thing.
No.
All right. I sort of hate and love this question at the same time, yeah.
Sure.
But like,
Shoot.
what do you, well, like, not even where do you see yourself in 5 years, but where would you like to see yourself?
Yeah. To be fair, it kind of goes back to like the original kind of how do you reward yourself for past things that you've done, right? If I were to look at myself like 5 years ago, if I were to look at where I am now, I'd be like, that looks sick. I'm amazed that I live in a house with a band, that I'm in, and we've doing stuff, and I've got a job a creative job that I really like, and it's for like a record label, which is really cool, and I would be amazed that I would be even at that point, and that's why I wanted to go to uni. I wanted to do all those things for that, and I'm doing that thing right now. So I think in 5 years' time, I guess, who knows?
Never in 5 years, I guess just sometime in the future.
Yeah.
Like, what would you like, in an ideal world, what would you like to be doing?
I really want to do more of the art stuff. I want to be more accomplished as an artist. I want to do more like album covers for people. I want more concepts. Be more like process based.
Love a good album cover.
Yeah.
And I hate a shit one.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it triggers me so much. So many things go through my desk that I'm like, I know someone's just made all of that in Photoshop. And I understand that's like a real process now. It saves money. It's so many factors why that's such a thing. And it is such an aesthetic, it does, and it makes sense. Like some people are insanely good at it. I get like a Photoshop file. I'm like, what the? How did they do this? How do you make all these things? But I love the like concept stuff. I'd love to be behind a camera. I'd love to staging and costume and like just improve all of my skills to the point where I'm like a little wizard. I'm like, make that sick. Goof. And someone comes to me rather than me go to them and says, I want to do this, and I've got a style, and it's honed, and same with the music and everything. Like it's all just cleaner. It's not as rough as it was before, and it's just a bit more kind of focused. And even then, the process of just putting stuff out and being productive. But I think that's the best. So I'm the most happiest when I'm being productive.
Yeah, I completely agree on that one.
Just building up like a body of work.
What do you think is the toughest part of building a band, and taking it to a good stage?
Interesting. I think, it's a lot of compromise, first of all. And
as in like personal creative compromise?
Yeah, both. Real both, because a lot of people are at different stages. I'm amazed some people do it when they're like different ages, different everything, like real contrast. I think it's important that you spend as much time with each other as possible. Like, I mean, I live, sleep in the same room. So I know a lot of people don't have that, and it's by no means a luxury.
Yeah.
But I feel like that it makes so much more of like a collective thing, because that's what it is. That's what I love about a band, like a band's thing, because it's not mine. It's a shared thing that doesn't. I might come up with some ideas for songs and things, and it might be my vision, but like visually and everything. But it's not. I'm not in control of those parts. They're their own force, you know. And it's really satisfying to present like an idea, like a song, and then hearing it back, not how you imagined it, but how you wanted it the whole time, and it sounds, you know. And then moving further and like playing a show and seeing someone just do something really cool, you know, if that's like Harry or Callum or Ben or Ollie or whatever, you're like, that's actually sick.
Yeah.
And then but that you're part of that kind of thing. It's just like a group force. Solo artists, I don't understand why there's so many solo artists out there in the world. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Everyone should be in a band.
you sort of like answered the opposite of what I asked. Yeah, because you sort of like gave me like the best. What's the most enjoyable part of being a band? But what's the like other like?
You said what the worst?
Yeah.
Oh right.
But that was interesting. Yeah, either way,
it's having to compromise. Living with other people, hate it. The worst thing about being in a band, I think, well, like you're saying, it's like a group identity. Planning things, planning life, real things.
Yeah.
Like I don't do it. My girlfriend's very good at planning everything. It's insane. She just works harder than me anyway. Yeah. But like just having like making plans of things.
Is it basically the logistics?
Yeah, it's purely the logistics.
The logistics side of things is the
toughest.
toughest.
Having the free time and like being all together just means that everything we do feels like a band thing. And every time we do something that's not good, it's like, the band's not good.
Okay.
It's not like an individual.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, that's why I guess that such a big part of that, isn't it? It's like a team spirit where it's like you always feel accountable. So you always like feel like you have to.
Yeah, it reflects on you regardless of how much you put in, right?
Yeah, you really have to push yourself to satisfy the band's needs or whatever the needs, you know, your team or etc. So yeah, I mean, also that's why it's super important to get like a good manager, so you don't have to deal with the logistics, and yeah, man,
it's a real gamble.
It is
like Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, like Bitcoin. Yeah, I know about that. yeah, definitely.
The more you put in, you know, could all blow up in your face.
Yeah, definitely can.
It's blown up a few
That's
times.
that's so much. That's part of the fun, right? Especially like it's so important. Like we're also. How old are you? 20.
I'm 24.
24. Yeah. We're a prime age for risk taking and silly things that you shouldn't do in your adult life. But fuck, man, there's no rules in this life.
There's no responsibility. I mean, there is a bit of responsibility.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's like we got it good.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Don't take it for granted. So I'm like, every time there's like a new project or a new opportunity to do something, it's like, this is the most important thing. Not, God, what's that new TV program everyone keeps talking about, or I've got to get really pissed, or or even at this point I'm like, all right, I won't go for that run. But that's just because my organisation skills are terrible.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, you know, now coming to this stage, like it'll be 25 next year, and it's like, all right, it's now got to start working with the band stuff, because if it doesn't move forward, then much like everything else, it just starts going backwards. So,
and what happens then?
I might apply to be an air pilot. See if Joachim can sort me out.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, mate. Not even baggage handling.
Oh, come on, please. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's part of it. And then, you know, because, you know, if you look at statistics and stuff, like how many bands or musicians actually make it into the real world. I mean, you already are, like, in the grand scheme of things, are successful music artists, you know? And you put on shows, people come and watch, you have, like, a fan base. But to make it sustainable, it's like a whole another ball game, isn't it?
It's a career. It's like a
What's
lifetime pursuit.
you have to answer this if you don't want to.
No.
But money, in band, like where does the money come from, mainly?
So the revenue you get, you've got like PRS, so that's like publishing. So every time you get played on like on the radio.
What and what's that?
So it's not much. If you get played on Radio 1, I think you get 70 quid. Every time you get played.
Every time you get played, get 70 quid.
Yeah, which is pretty good actually.
That's probably. I mean, if you get played a lot.
Yeah, I think 70 seems like a lot actually. It might be 30.
It might be.
Might be less than half of that.
Yeah.
And then like Spotify, you get like 0.0 something percent.
Spotify's a joke, isn't it? How little you get.
Yeah, but at the same time, I kind of like, I don't know how I feel about Spotify, because I do use it a lot and I do enjoy it as a platform, as much as like vinyl and everything are coming back, which is great because I like the ownership.
You like
of
physical things,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And I remember iTunes back in the day, spending 99p for a song, and now I can listen to like any music in the world, like spending like £10 a month.
Yeah.
So it becomes like a more accessible commodity, but then in itself it is just like a commodity. It's like, it's like selling apples. They're probably like 1 pence, but the value of everything kind of drops a little bit in that sense. But
in return you get.
But in return you get all kinds of things.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't get before. Whether that's like exposure, which is the dirtiest word in the creative industry, is exposure. Someone asks, if someone tries to pay you in exposure, then you you need to get out of there.
Conversation's just been had. It's not
good.
Anyway.
But festivals and playing shows, we're up to a point where we're getting some relatively good money for shows, and then it's just a case of that going through the business, because I don't get paid by the band. I don't get any money every month or week, or we don't pay ourselves a wage. We would go bankrupt if we did. We'd have one blowout month. We'd be fucked. I think maybe we have like a little bonus at Christmas, because it's our record label as well. So we may.
It's your record label?
Yeah. So we set up a record label.
No way.
Clap Records.
Clap Records.
I've got it tattooed.
Oh yeah, no way.
You not seen it?
Oh mate, look at that.
They're my hands.
I like that.
Clappity clap. Clappity clap. We always thought it's funny. Clap records is like getting the clap is like the worst thing. Or like something being clapped is it shit, right?
Yeah.
I thought it's funny. But so all the money goes through that, right? So we've got like a Clap touring account. So if we earn money on touring, that all goes there. So like the tax and everything, everything is going into that pot. But there's like multiple pots.
Okay. We're
not committing tax fraud, I say. But in terms of like revenue on like albums and things, it's not much. Not for us anyway.
Yeah. And also, that's the thing with band. You got to split it 5 ways.
Yeah. Oh, and we do it every like 20%. We're like Coldplay.
Oh yeah.
So I find it insane that people don't do that in a band.
It's just like you get 7 and I get 17.
I know. Well, imagine that. Imagine being in like, I think Foals don't split it evenly. Not that they're like huge, but I'm trying to think other bands. I think U2 split evenly.
I mean, whatever. Each their own, and like.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking, if you were successful and you went round, your lead singer's like mega mansion.
Yeah, and then you're still like paying rent and Wood Green.
Oh yeah, roll up, put your like rental in their 12-car garage. It's like, I think might get the kids one of them. What I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be a bit peeved, but no, money is money. It's just, if anything, it's just a way to sustain it. Sustaining is the game really now.
Yeah.
And the money helps to do that.
Yeah.
Everything costs so much money.
Of course, yeah.
Touring, insurance on them.
You just bought a van as well,
Yeah, we just bought a van.
Yeah. So everything's money.
Yeah, and we can't. We were going to go on a European tour, right? But we can't because we can't afford it.
Really?
And
how much would that cost?
It would have cost. We would have been $5,000 in debt if we'd done it, and that's.
So it would have cost more than $5,000.
Yeah, it would have cost like
$8,000.
something like that. And then if you add
And
up
I'm
all
guessing
the
that, I mean,
shows,
that's
all the
like
fees.
base, like not too many
We're
luxuries.
playing like 200 cap,
Yeah.
supporting like a band. We don't know if they'll sell it out the venue,
Yeah.
and we don't know how much merch we'd sell. And then
There's so many variables,
it's crazy, like insurance and obviously all the COVID stuff now and
tests and
travel things because Brexit.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Mm.
Hotels, food, allowances. I just get in the van.
Let's get in the van. See where it takes you. Cool, man. I think we had a good convo.
Yeah, it's been good. We've covered a lot.
We got a lot of.
If you came here for Bitcoin, you will not be disappointed.
yeah. Well, maybe you would, because you might be discouraged after my story.
I'm trying to think. Recap. Crying, Bitcoin. I've got the band, music,
Music,
art.
art. Crying was my favorite.
Crying was great.
Yeah,
that really resonated. That was really nice.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Well, thank you for having me on. If you can't see this, oh, you can. There's a camera.
This camera was.
So we're
There's on
shaking-
Spotify as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we just shook hands.
We did. It was nice.
It was nice.
Well, tune in next time.
Yep. Who's on?
Ibby, he's just coming. Actually, he's not. I'm doing 2 today. So.
Oh right. Okay.
So,
Sorry, I'll hurry up.
No. He's. I don't know when he's coming, but yeah. So when's your show again?
Oh. Which one?
The big one in London.
Oh, 3rd of March.
3rd of March.
Scala. Should be fun. I want to do like I want a curtain. Actually, I need to talk to Tim.
Oh yeah.
I want to discuss
Props.
props and curtains.
Oh yeah. Cool, man. Well, bit of promotion to the 18 people that are going to watch this.
Thank you. Buy a ticket.
Buy tickets. Cool, man. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you very
and
much, KOKO, for having me.
once you cry, come on again. We'll
I
talk
will
about
come
it.
on again. Just an hour talking about me crying.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Human emotions. Male human emotions.